It is 10 o'clock. We'll get started. All right, let's take a moment to go around. I know we got a new face on the team here, and we're just going to introduce her name and where we work. I'll just lead us off. Anthony Doherty, Professional Developments Director. Nice to see everyone.
Good morning, Paul Houchins, Research and Evaluation.
Gordon Longhoff.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, Gordon. Good morning, everyone. Jermaine English, Manager, Labor Relations.
Justin Katz, CTA Executive Director.
Maureen Thompson, Manager of Professional Development.
Good morning, Brianna Koch, CTA's Professional Development Coordinator.
Good morning, Patty Hatch Sabers, PAR Teacher, Professional Development.
Good morning, Lisa Roman, Professional Development.
Good morning, Adina Kerr, West Boynton Middle School.
Good morning, Randall Audie, CTA staff. Oh, I'm sorry, whoever I just stepped on.
Good morning, Eugenia Feynman, Emerald Cove Middle.
Good morning, Angelina Galesi-Schmid, CTA staff.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me, hopefully. Christy Seidel, Suncoast High School. And I am in the middle of the AP read, so if I drop off, it's because our break is over.
No problem, Christy. Okay, I think, did we get everyone? I think we got everyone. All right, y'all. Let's get started. We have two major topic areas today. One's the CTS handbook, and the other is the observation instruments. The first one with the CTS handbook updates are there's nothing unusual with these. The updates are in line with what we've done in the last, I want to say at least the last 5-6 years. But it's the updates to the deadlines, the teacher evaluation components, our pre and post measures. We'll also be talking about the bringing back of the Google Meet option as an option, not a mandatory. It's just an option should a teacher be inclined to want to use it. And then, of course, the typical punctuation updates. So let me share the handbook really quick. Now, as we're going through this, if there are items that either side wants to discuss, anything that we have some concerns, please feel free to just go on mic. And really what I'm going to do is pull us to the major items. If we skip over an area that someone would like to address, please just, again, go on mic and we'll scroll back up to it. But here are the student performance measures. Paul, anything? Sorry, scrolling, everyone. Paul, are there any items here that you would like to bring attention to the group?
Nothing specific. The plan is to kind of do what we've done historically. We expect all of these models to perform as they have done historically. Staff is currently working on the ones that are available. Our time bound is still the AP IB ACE model. That's always been kind of our the one that pushes us into September because of how late those scores come back. But if anything doesn't perform as normal, we'll bring it back to the group.
All right, great. Thank you, Paul. Any questions about the student performance measures? Okay. There are changes to the scoring matrices. Those are matrices, sorry. Those are the same. There's some, some of the housekeeping items. We had Florida State standards here. Now we have the best standards, so we're just updating language. Adding in PeopleSoft. That was a piece that's in there for the final and mid-year evaluations. That was not in the handbook already. Here's the Google Meet option that we discussed bringing back. So we're kind of working on the language, at least on our PD team here. And the language that we were working with was Google Meet may be utilized instead of a face-to-face meeting if both the teacher and administrator agree. So this way there's not one party kind of pushing the other. It's fair for both sides. Honestly, we still see the positive that happens from a face-to-face conversation, being together in the room. However, there can be some instances where scheduling gets in the way, life gets in the way, family, pets, something could happen. So we do like to have the flexibility for our teachers. But this has to be both parties agree. It's similar to the language that we put in for the PGP and using a non-classroom form versus the classroom form. Both parties really need to be in agreement for this. So any questions, any comments, any concerns on this item? Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, Anthony, thank you. So again, we had talked about this in the previous meeting. We support this. We just wanted to make sure, and this would be something that the district could stress on their end when they introduce this to the principals and administrators who would be doing this, that the default setting, so to say, for this is face-to-face. If as an administrator, you want to do a virtual one, you have to ask the teacher, and essentially if they say no, that means it's face-to-face. And we just want to make sure they understand that it really, by virtue of being a mutual agreement, it means if both sides don't agree, then it's face-to-face. And that once one side has kind of made their position clear about that, we would hope that the observer would kind of just let it be. We just don't want to get in a situation where somebody being observed feels pressured into doing it in the format they don't want, or would have to, in advocating for what they want, have to get into a miniature dispute while they're being evaluated, essentially. So that's our only concern. But I think with proper coaching, the observers can understand that's, at least if that's what the district agrees, that's the intent here.
Absolutely. The district agrees on that. This should not be something where one party feels forced or that this would inhibit the relationship that should be positive and going towards growth. So district's in agreement with that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I've made a note that will be part of the video and the training series going forward. Okay. And then date timelines have been updated. But the exemption dates for anyone who is exempt from mid-year evaluation. This is a typo. I should say final. We also added some clarification language here. An incomplete evaluation must still be submitted with notes explaining situation. Now, the reason why this was added, we have employees that might exit the year early. We have employees might get a promotion, employees that might have a situation that does not warrant that they've worked the contractual number of days for evaluation. So to help aid in record keeping, but also to not have an employee wonder what happened, the supervisor should be still submitting a not evaluated evaluation with comments explaining the situation. This is just helpful for down the line. Should another supervisor look and say, well, why didn't they get an evaluation? Well, there's nice and easy to reference comments rather than having to dig through personnel file or HR records. That's really it. The rest of the updates here are more of little punctuation, grammatical, and then dates. So before we move on to the next item, any questions, any comments Any concerns, any items for discussion about the CTS handbook?
Anthony, could you go back to page 17 real quick
You got it.
at the bottom? Um, 17, like numbered 17.
Oh, sorry.
The red comment there, that's just a reference to what we just discussed, correct?
This has actually been in here, but we couldn't update the language. Let's see, prior to the domain being marked, a documented face-to-face conference between the observer and teacher must take place. I can put a conditional line here referencing, but this line was actually in here just saying that you need to have the face-to-face. So your thoughts, go ahead.
Well, so it was in red. So my thought was that the district was indicating the application of that possibility for virtual. Do you want to keep it as just in this scenario? This has to be face-to-face. There is no virtual option.
No, I'm thinking we might either we pull this to avoid any confusion with the updated line here. All right. So either keep this or add this language to the item down here on 17. The goal of this was that for an informal observation that you couldn't mark domain 4 without having a conversation. So, and I see Lisa nodding. Maybe we could say, remove the face-to-face and just say a documented conference. Gordon? You're on mute, Gordon.
I was just going to give you some language. A documented conference, whether face-to-face or Google Meet, or via, between the observer and the teacher must take place. That was all I was going to add in there.
Good thoughts. Thoughts from the rest of the group?
And just with the same application of mutual and all that we had identified earlier.
Yeah.
I agree with that update. I think it was a good catch.
Awesome. Okay. Yep, good catch. All right, any other notes? Randall.
Can you go back up to 16, please?
You got it.
It's one of the dates. Wait, sorry. A little bit down. Final evaluation deadline entered an observation by. There we go.
Thank you.
All good.
It's one of those that it says you're going through next year, you just forget. So awesome. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Randall. And now I'm going to go back up here to make sure we got all our 5s. Yep. Perfect.
And Anthony, I think this might be more a negotiations question because I think it's contract language and relative to the procedural defects or anything, but there's a date in the contract that refers to being able to challenge for category 1B and 2 teachers. I just put it on our radar where like the deadline is basically like the day that the observation is supposed to be done by, the last observation. I just want to put on our radar that there's that 4:30 sticks out to me, is that there's something that says like 1Bs and 2s have until like 4 or 5 to like challenge something, but technically they have till 4:30 to be completed in their observations.
Yep, I think we were looking at that in our last meeting, right? That was the language when we were talking about the IPRC.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jermaine and Caitlin, got that for your notes too? All right, thank you for mentioning that, Justin. Okay, if we're good, then we'll clean up, Maureen and I will clean up the CTES, have a production copy shared with the group shortly. And then the goal, of course, will be to share this by the last week in January out to all stakeholders. That's predominantly our instructional personnel and their supervisors. We're also, based on the updates here, and then of course talking about our next item after this, Maureen will be working on a short video to explain the changes. So this way it'll be nice and easy to understand for both parties. And we'll start communicating that out at the end of the month. Okay. So the next item up for discussion is the observation protocols. Now, for those who have been evaluated by the original Marzano legacy model, or those who haven't, here's a quick refresher. When the original Marzano model launched back in 2011, 2012 in Palm Beach County, the model went forward without any changes until about, well, there were tiny little changes, but structurally, there weren't any major changes until 2013. In 2013, there was the addition of more look-fors. There were some other additional languages to make it easier to understand. So we've had a habit in Palm Beach County of making updates that are sometimes minor and sometimes major when we move from the legacy model to the focused model in 2017. And in 2017, the model has been untouched until recently. Now, we annually submit a state plan for our evaluation systems, one for instructional, one for school administrators. The instructional plan has been under review for the better part of the year. In fact, the updates were submitted back in August, and we only recently got feedback from the state of the areas in which they need us to be in compliance with Florida Statute 1000.05. And for those who have had a chance or haven't had a chance, it's about discrimination, anti-discrimination. The state reviewed the observation instruments for the classroom teacher and the non-classroom teacher from our Palm Beach model of instruction, Marzano's focus model. And there were some areas in which they wanted us to either to remove or rephrase. So I'm going to share my screen. One second. Oop, I did not mean to put the emoji up on the screen. That was sorry. Buttons are way too close together. Just share my entire screen and make life easier for y'all. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in. For those who might just need as a reference point, these were, of course, sent out in the Jank Prep email. We have the classroom teacher model that we're looking at right now. This is domain 1, the first element, planning standards-based lessons and units. No change to the element name, the focus statement, the desired effects. The changes are certain wording, and wording that the state was looking for was concerning cultural relevance, cultural competencies, cultural responsiveness, equity, sensitivity, and you'll see the red strike throughs of the language that the state is asking us to remove. And then the yellow highlights are what in some areas we've tried to replace. And all of the language on the classroom teacher form and the non-classroom teacher form has been approved by the state. There's not much arguing that we can do with the state on this. But I'm showing you also the non-classroom form. There's not a lot on the non-classroom form that was changed. However, you'll see there's items like equity and equity that had to be redacted. Equity, student cultures, that was changed to student backgrounds. Another reference to equity. Basically, in the classroom and non-classroom forms, any reference to the word equity has been removed or rephrased. Cultural, removed or rephrased to backgrounds, student interests. Instead of a culturally responsive classroom, it's a student-centered classroom. Instead of ensuring equity, it's ensuring adherence. Now, the changes were made in collaboration with Marzano Center. Remember, Marzano has created this evaluation system with Palm Beach County, with our GENC group here that made updates back in 2016, 2017. So the updates have approval of Marzano Center and the state. I'm presenting this really there's not much flexibility we have here. The positive is that we are still keeping the model. There are no major changes, but there are some of these tweaks that we have been using to help ensure a more equitable classroom. And even that, using the word equitable is still contrary to what the Florida statute is asking for. So the language that we have here is in compliance with what the state is asking us to do. So are there any questions about this? Notice I skipped over comments, but are there any questions about this? Okay, and as I give the appropriate wait time, knowing that you guys still have time to ask questions, this as an update, we will be having this information shared in the video I mentioned before that Maureen would be creating, but we'll also be working with Marzano, with iObservation, the Marzano Center, to update the protocols in iObservation. And then we'll be updating documents on the website and the state plan as well. So the updates should be small ripples. The positive is there are only a small number of people in the district that have memorized everything in the protocols, most of which are probably in this Google Meet room right now, that could go through the protocols and tell you, wait, what's that? What's that? So that is the positive. This shouldn't impact the training that has already taken place, but we will make sure that information is shared so others are aware. But this, again, will help keep Palm Beach County in compliance with Florida statutes that have recently updated. Okay. Yeah, Gordon, go ahead.
Anthony, you said that these were all based upon recommendations or requests from the state as they did their review of our documents submitted last year?
Correct. And this same process is happening with the school administrator evaluation. So that's next on the docket for what we're updating. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Gordon. All right, then I believe that concludes our items for this GENC meeting. That the goal at this point will be to put the communications together for release by the end of the month. If there is some obstacle, then it will go out at the beginning of August, just full disclosure, but the goal is to have everything go out at the end of the month so that everyone is aware of the changes. All right, anything else for the good of the order? All right, fantastic. Adina, welcome to the group. It's nice to have you.
Thank you so much.
And Randall, I'm liking the beard. It's catching on. Okay. Hi, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Patty, enjoy your summer. Hope to see you soon.
All right, will do.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for your time.